What's going on, guys? I'm Andrew.
I'm Jason.
And this is Movie Source.
Today we're going to be reviewing Ghostbusters.
So Ghostbusters is being directed by Paul Feig. He also did Bridesmaids. He did Spy with Melissa McCarthy as well. He's done a few other comedies. First thing I ever saw him in was actually Heavyweights as an actor. He played Tim in that. But getting back to Paul Feig, whatever, however you say his name, I thought, obviously he had a tremendous amount of pressure coming into this project because Ghostbusters, the original from '84 and then the sequel from '89, a lot of people, including myself and Jason, we love those. We love those films, including all the characters in it, from Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. So, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on this, and obviously, the trailers, in my opinion, didn't really help anything much.
I totally agree, man. The trailers just kind of made the movie look not that good, and also I feel like some of the things they showed in the trailers would have been cool to see in the movie for the first time.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously we're not just talking about this movie. That's a big problem a lot of these marketing and studios are having with when they promote these films or what to show, what not to show, going for the general audience. And we get it, you want to go after the general audience and get them, but I mean, you got most of us sold on Ghostbusters. Show some stuff that is going to get us in the theater without revealing too much stuff or stuff we want to see in the theater. So I agree with you.
I would say stuff more that just kind of tells you about each of the characters, so you kind of can get invested in them early.
And yeah, that's one thing I want to talk about in this non-spoiler review. By the way, this is a non-spoiler review. We'll get into the spoiler portion a little later in this review, so you don't have to worry. We're not going to spoil anything right now. The characters in this film, I actually did enjoy them. I thought they had good chemistry with each other, and I did enjoy all four of the characters. Melissa McCarthy in some scenes was a little annoying, but overall I did enjoy her character. I know it's her shtick, that's what she does. But the point,
she definitely was that style character, but it was more reined in compared to some of the other stuff that she's been in recently. So, I didn't think it was too over the top. Some points maybe, but overall you're right. I thought she was fine.
No, for sure. And I don't want to get into a whole comparison from the previous franchise in this, but it is called Ghostbusters, so sorry, I'm going to make some comparisons. Shoot me. But like I said, I did like the chemistry between the four actors in this. I thought that it was pretty good. Some of the comedy really did hit. I did find myself laughing a bit when I was in my theater seat, and then there were a few jokes, obviously, that fell a little flat for me. But, me personally, I thought I liked the original characters, the Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Venkman, Egon, Ray. I personally like the chemistry between those, but what I like more about those characters in that movie, I can tell you a lot about those characters. I was really invested in those guys from the onset, and I'm not saying I wasn't invested in these women. I did enjoy the chemistry, but I just didn't get as invested in them as I was in those characters. But having said that, I did enjoy the chemistry between them.
Yeah, I mean, I think acting-wise they did fine, but more from a story standpoint, they didn't do as much to set up everything together. They sort of threw everything together pretty quick, and like you said, the chemistry between them was good. There were some really funny moments between all of them, and there's some moments that fell flat too. So, some of these characters weren't bad. I would say I like the ones from the original Ghostbusters better, but for this movie, I mean, it was more a product of the storytelling than the actual characters.
Yeah, themselves. I think you said it well. I mean, I really enjoyed all four actresses, and I enjoyed their performances. I think with a little better script, I think it would have flowed even better. So, no, I completely agree with you.
I just think overall script-wise, parts of it were good, and parts, there were some jokes I was actually laughing a lot. Sure. But some of them, you're right, just fell a little flat. So, they were trying to go for a broad audience, and I was in the theater with a bunch of kids, and the kids were laughing the whole movie. So, I mean, I was kind of getting it from their standpoint. Yeah. But some of the jokes are maybe in a way that are for kids a little bit dumbed down, I feel like, compared to the original.
Oh, no, for sure. And also they went to, and we're not giving a spoiler here, but they went to fart and poop jokes, which I don't know why people... I mean, sometimes they can be funny. I'd say my favorite fart or poop joke ever is in Dumb and Dumber. But I just feel like at this point it's just been played to death. I don't personally care for those anymore.
Yeah, there's only one or two, though.
No, I know. I'm just saying in general, I don't care for those. But I thought when the movie did get a little bit more serious and we were getting more into the story, I actually found myself enjoying that even more.
Yeah.
So I thought what this film could have done a little bit better. Obviously, I talked about I would have liked a little better script. I mean, every film can always have a little better script. But the point I'm making is I thought it could have done a little better job on the tonal shifts from serious to comedic, because clearly they wanted to be more comedy in this, and I get that. You got four very funny actresses and also a comedic director. I totally get it. I just found myself most interested in the characters again, I always love a good laugh. I always get on character sides when they make me laugh, of course. But I found myself way more invested in these characters when we were getting into the more serious stuff. So I don't, like I said, I love comedy. I would have liked just a little more tonal balance rather than 80 to 90% of the film comedy and then about 15 to 10% of the serious, more dramatic stuff getting into the story. So I just would have liked a little more tonal balance. But again, there were stuff in this film I did like. I liked the four characters, or the four late actors. I really liked Chris Hemsworth in this.
He was pretty funny.
I thought he was pretty cool. Very cartoonish character, but he was very hysterical. I mean, it's a film about women who are hunting ghosts, or going after ghosts. So, I mean, you can forgive him being such a
There were a little bit of
like
role reversal, traditional men to women style. Yeah,
yeah,
there was a little bit of that, and I thought that was kind of funny.
And also, too, well. Chris Hemsworth made some sexist jokes on some of his drawings, so his character was pretty hysterical. So, but I did like seeing also a different side. Chris Hemsworth is a very funny actor. Like, I mean, even when he's Thor too, he's funny. So, you know, I thought he did a great job in the film. I really thought he clicked well with the four girls because obviously he's taken over the Janine role.
The action in this movie was actually solid. Not like, you know, action movie status, but for a comedy, it was pretty good. The CGI was pretty well done. Nothing over the top, and then, like, some of it there was a couple scenes where it was a lot of CGI, but for the most part, I thought the ghosts and everything were pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Coming into the trailers, again, like I said, which did the film no favors or anything, I thought the ghost, like from what I saw in the trailers, I was expecting like the Haunted Mansion or something like of that generic kind of film. But actually, no, I thought the CGI in the ghost was pretty convincing, and I found myself believing that, wow, these look like real ghosts. So, no, I thought the CGI was pretty well done in this film. I thought the action, yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular.
Like some crazy fight scenes.
But yeah, there was some cool stuff.
For what it was, yeah, I mean, it works.
For sure, there was some cool stuff. It definitely, obviously, is more updated than the 84 and 89, because I just previously watched those versions, and those are so, obviously, they're from the 80s, they didn't have the budget like they have now. Those are
the technology. So.
Or the technology, of course, and obviously those are a little outdated, but I thought, you know, this looked good. And Slimer, I guess, he looked okay. I personally, again, prefer the first version of Slimer, but it was cool. He looked okay in this, too, and that's not a spoiler. He's in the trailer, so if you want to say that's a spoiler. But I thought that, yeah, like you said, the action was nothing spectacular, but there were a couple cool action sequences for sure. Easy to follow along, you know, nothing that seemed like, wow, this is such a CGI fest. No, it was fine. I agree.
Alright guys, now we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler talk, so if you don't want to see any spoilers, you can click the link right here to skip to the end of the video.
Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, we said that there were some cameos from the previous franchise. Obviously, we had Janine was back. I don't remember. She was like at she was at a museum or something. Said, yeah, the ghosts are down there, right? It was an older. Yeah. She was a lot older now, but they're obviously all a lot older. Dan Aykroyd, he was a cab driver, I think.
I thought his was the best. His was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was okay. And then you had Bill Murray was a doctor saying he didn't believe them, and then he just randomly just died.
I thought his could have been like way better.
Could have been so much.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be funny, or like I didn't have to be like a main character or anything, but like he could have died real quick.
Me personally, I would have rather that they just kept it like as Venkman, like the actual characters, and it's like a passing off of the torch, almost like, hey, that's what we did.
I was wondering if those guys didn't really want to do that.
Who knows? But me personally, I thought that would have felt way less forced and even more organic. But that's just me. But it was nice seeing Bill Murray in it. I just thought, like you said, I thought it could have been way better. Than Ernie Hudson, literally the minute before he came on screen, me and my brother, like, he's Patty's uncle. Like, he's for sure Patty's uncle. Like, he has to show up in the film anyway. So, yeah. So he's Patty's uncle and he owns the earth. Like, it was cool. It was cute. So, but what I didn't like about the cameos were every time we got into a cameo, while I was very happy to see these actors from the previous franchise, it slowed down the film to a force point rather than an organic, thing that was happening on screen. Like I said, I would have preferred them being, and I don't care what the actors wanted, you're paying them money to be on set. So what I'm saying is I would have preferred them being the characters from the previous franchise. It would have felt a lot more organic. Again, just passing on the torch. Yeah, we dealt with this kind of stuff, or whatever they would have done. I would have been cool with it. But I just thought that would have felt a little more organic and not slowed the story down as much every time we had to get a cameo. And I'm not saying it slowed it down to the point of, wow, this is at a dead halt. But it's 3 or 4 different times it happened where we stopped it.
I mean, I would say the only time, as far as slowing down the story, I'd say the only time for me that I thought that happened was the Bill Murray one. The Dan Aykroyd one was pretty quick, and then her uncle at the end was really quick too. So I thought really the only one that slowed it down was the Bill Murray one. And the one, Sigourney Weaver at the end was kind of funny too. She just kind of made a joke at the end. They said that she was the one girl's mentor.
Yeah, and also we had, at the very beginning, we saw of Harold Ramis's character. It's like a statue of his head, I think it was a bronze statue or something. So, that was a really nice little touch to have in there. And then obviously the only one we're missing from the previous franchise was Rick Moranis. That kind of made me a little sad too because I'm a diehard, big Rick Moranis fan. He's one of my favorite actors ever. So I would have loved for him to come back for it, but you know, it is what it is. So, but like I said, it was very nice to see all the previous actors back from the franchise, from the original Ghostbusters. But again, I just would have liked it to be a little more organic. And again, I don't care that it slowed the story down a little bit, especially like you said on the Bill Murray one, but I just would have liked it to have been a little more organic. It just felt a little forced to me. That's all I'm saying. I didn't see who did the music to this film, but I'm not going to lie, I did miss hearing Elmer Bernstein's score from the original film studio. His score in the first two films are phenomenal, and I don't know who did this one, but it's not even memorable in my mind at this point, like Elmer's was.
Well,
so.
I have to say though, their remixed versions of the main Ghostbusters themes, they comes in 3 or 4 different times. Actually, at different sections of the song. I actually really enjoyed all of the renditions of that song.
Yeah,
the rest of the score, you're right, not very memorable, but that song in particular, the times they brought it in, I thought was actually really good.
No, I'm not talking about the Ray Parker Jr. song. I'm just talking about the actual score of the film. But yeah, I agree with you though. There were some cool some remixes, and they even did that in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the end.
Yeah,
I do like that kind of stuff when they update stuff with some cool songs. That kind of stuff.
And I thought the end credits were kind of cool, where they kind of just kept going with a few, like 3 or 4 or 5 different scenes, and then at the end you just kind of see Chris Hemsworth dancing at the end. Like, I mean, that was whatever, but he was like messing around with the actual credits, so I thought that was at least kind of creative.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue that I had with this film, and again, Chris Hemsworth, I guess, took over the role of the film because he was being possessed in the middle of the film. But from beginning to middle, I just didn't identify or care at all about the creeper guy, you know. And like I understood,
kind of setting that whole thing up.
And I understood his motivation. People had disrespected and treated him like a creepy guy that he was his whole life. So I completely understood his motivations. They did a great job laying that out. I just didn't. He didn't
hit as a character.
Yeah, it just didn't hit as a character. I didn't care for the performance by the actor.
Then when he jumps into Chris Hemsworth, I thought that was actually Chris Hemsworth did a decent job as playing this dude.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And it was only for a short time, which I thought was actually good. They didn't take it all the way like they kind of thought they were. And then he went into obviously that big ghost at the end. So.
But that's obviously a big thing that gets me invested in a film is the villain. So that's why I had a little bit of a
like this anyway.
Yeah, but that's why I had a little tougher time, like really. You know, getting this on the same level as the first 2 Ghostbusters, or at least the first one. But again, I did enjoy this film. It was entertaining. There were definitely some laughs in it. I found myself laughing harder than I thought I was going to coming into the film.
A few moments was really funny.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, because of the poor marketing and the bad trailers for this film, I had really low expectations coming in, and it definitely was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But it wasn't as good as I was hoping. As I thought it could have been, or as I wanted it to be. But again, it was better than I thought it was going to be, so I will give it that. It was entertaining. I did like the chemistry between the 4 actresses. I thought Paul Feig did a decent job of, again, adapting this new story while clicking on some old beats from the original. So if they do make a sequel, I am interested to see it again. I want them to, again, just do a few things better, expand the story a little more, have a better script, of course. And
just the characters themselves.
Yeah, get more into
driving the whole movie.
I agree with that. Get more into the characters. I want to get more invested in these girls because again, those girls and obviously Chris Hemsworth were the highlight of the film. So I want to stay more on them and flesh them out a lot more. So I'm going to give this film a 6.8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it pretty close to that. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think the movie, for what it was, did a decent job at being a family film and just being kind of, it's a funny summer-type movie. So, yeah, not quite as good as the original. It's a little bit of a different style, but for what it was, I thought it was pretty solid. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this video. Let us know what you thought about Ghostbusters in the comment section below, and if you like these videos, you can hit the subscribe button.
See you guys next time.